my pattern lay out on my fabric. My fabric is actually 3 yards. You know, I have my pattern lay out on my fabric. So you see my front sleeve. This is my front. This is the front sleeve. So my pattern is on. The fabric is on fold. So I'm going to cut out now. Let me cut out and then we'll cut some more. See, see where we are now. We've hair staged everything. We literally hair staged everything. The hairstyle we use is light style. You know, then after hair staying, we've actually done lining. This is the back sleeve. So we've actually we hair stayed. We've added lining to it. See what it looks like. These are both sleeves. I'm keeping that aside. Then this is the front. You remember our front? We had our sleeve together with the front of our jacket. So now I have a facing here. See what I did. Now I didn't have a lot of this fabric left. You know, this part is going to show. So I tried to use the fabric. No, even if I had used black showing would still have been fine. You know, black showing would still have been fine. So I have from here to here. I'm going to have my lining here. Then I'm going to have lining here. I didn't have enough of this fabric to be all this way. You notice I actually did a join here. Now, if this method I'm using, you don't understand what this method is, just line it normal. You know, but I'm actually doing a proper sweep lining here. Then look at the down of my jacket now. I did a fold. My fold is 2 inches. I folded it up 2 inches. So I'm not doing anything else until I've joined my line. I join my line, here. Then my facing is going to be 1/2 inch more than this. When I get there, I'm going to explain some more. So I'm folding this and keeping it aside. I'm doing the same to the other side. Then I have the back of my jacket here now. This is the back of my jacket now. Now, see what I've done. I've done a cut here. My cut is, my lining is more than this. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to sew from here. I'll sew until I get to this part. This is like, and then I'm leaving like 6 or 7 inches, and then I'll now sew from there all the way up. After sewing, I now trim. As I trim, I'm going to allow 1/2 inch allowance down. So my lining is going to be 1/2 inch longer than this. And then this part now, my lining is going to be 1/2 inch more here too. The rest I'm going to trim equal. Why am I doing it like this? Because this is a jacket. I want to be able to slide it on and off easily and still have that clean look, you know. So I'm going to go do my run, do my trims, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay, see how far we've come. This is the back of my jacket. I've had my lining prepared. What I did here is, let me put it so that you understand what I did. What I did here is, I've had my lining trimmed. My lining is actually 1/2 inch more than the main fabric. And if you notice at the armhole, I actually have like a little lining, then a little at the shoulder. What happens is that my lining, the inside isn't going to pull the outer part, you know. So the next I'm going to do now is to join the down to this part, iron it. This is the front, one part of my front now. You know, this is our sleeve was attached in the pattern. In the fabric, I cut everything equal. So the next thing I'm going to do here now is to sort of, I'm flipping it this way, you know. So in flipping it, this is what I'll end up having. So this is what I'm going to have now. You notice, because I joined black here, I have my black showing. I actually didn't have enough of this, you know, and I actually think it isn't bad at all. Then this is going to be like this, you know. So we're actually going towards where we can actually join everything together. So the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm joining my down together and the down of my back together, like I said. And then this is my front now. If you look at it, I have the same fold that I have behind. I have, my fold is 2 inches, and see what I have now. I have like half an inch and more. The same thing at the armhole, you know. So I'm going to sort of turn the back and then join my sides. As I join my sides, then I'm going to join this together, you know. I'm joining it this way because I want this part is going to show in front. So we're going to have a sort of like a combo here, you know. Let me join, and then I'll let you see the next step. After joining, we're actually coming together sort of. Okay, we're here now. We're actually about to join our sleeve. So as in, I've finished preparing all my pieces, so we're sort of joining now. This is my sleeve now. See how my placement is. I'm joining this way. Why am I joining this way? Because you remember that we're sort of flipping like this, you know. We're sort of flipping this way. So this is going to be the part that's going to show. So we have to join this way so that as we flip, we have this other side showing. This is the one that has already been joined, as you can see. And we've joined this. That's actually the back side. So this is the front. So as we've joined, as I flip, this is what I'm going to get, you know. So the next stage now for me is I'm joining the sides. This is my back. I've actually done a mark. I always do that. Okay, you see my mark line. I've marked. Then I have my lining marked also. So what I'm going to do now is to join. So I'm joining this to this, then joining the lining to lining. As you can see the opening that so see what I'm going to do now. I'm going to join my sides together. I'm joining like this. Then you would notice here that when I sewed my lining, I actually left an opening here. I left an opening in the other part. So I'm going to sew, join this. I'm joining this separate. I'm joining the lining separate. After I've done all that iron, then I'm going to now sort of close this down. You know, I'm going to show you as I go. This is actually how a proper jacket or suit is actually sewn. It allows your lining lie beautifully. You know, let me sew and then we'll talk some more. Okay, see where we are now. We've actually sewn, as you can see, we've sewn with ironed. You see my down now. I still have that part that I left open now. So you see, I've sort of arranged it. See my excess. This excess, it's really good. I need it. So I'm going to now go inside and sort of stitch this path. You know, after I've done stitching it, the next thing I'm going to do is to join my sleeve together. See our sleeve cape. See how big it is. You know, so what we're going to do now is to sort of sew this way. So I'm going to go sew. After we've sewn, we'll iron. The next thing that will remain now is that we have to gather add the gather the cape to the size of the neck. Let me go sew iron and then we'll look at the next step. Okay, see where we are now. We've joined our cape behind and we've ironed. See what I've done now. This is the center where we had our joint. It's also the center of our jacket. You remember that this pattern was gotten from this, so everything sort of matches, even if it's Essex. So the part that matched, I put a pin there. You know, as I put a pin now, this is my cape part. This is the neck of my jacket now. Then this is the shoulder of my cape sleeve. This is the shoulder of my jacket. I bring it together and I put a pin there too. You know, it's as I pin like this now. So I now have, see my excess. So from here to here, this is my gather. I'm going to sort of gather here down like this. I gather it and I stitch it to that body. Then from here to here, I'm going to now sort of gather down to this part now. This is where my my slip flipped from. So what happens is that this part now, I'm going to just have a notch here. Having a notch here allows me to know that this is where it's going to end. So as I gather, this is the look that I'm going to get. As I gather it round, the last thing I'm going to do is to put a collar to it. I'm doing a standing collar. A standing collar will sort of seal all this in for me. You know. So this is basically it. This is basically it. So let me gather. It's just exactly as I've explained. That's how I'm going to gather. Then as I gather, I'll stop running it down. After I've run it down, we'll now look at the collar. Well, we're looking at the collar now. Our collar is a standing collar. So what I did is I actually marked 2 inches here. You know, if you want your collar to be smaller, you sort of reduce it. But I think 2 inches is not bad. After sewing, I want it to be like 1.5 inch. So while I'm cutting out of fabric, I'm going to just sort of add 1/2 inch. So see what I have. I have 2 inches marked here. What I'm going to do now is to sort of, I want to add curve to it. This is the length of the neck. I measured the neck. I'm using it for this, and it's double because I want this part to be slightly different. So what I'm going to do now is I'm taking out from this. This is the edge. I'm marking 1/2 inch here, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. It's sort of in form of a dart. I sort of entered naturally. So this is 1/2 inch. It gets smaller as it goes until it goes to nothing. So having taken this out means I'm going to have like 1.5 inch here. I have to replace what I've taken out here. So I'm doing the same thing that I did down there. Here I've entered naturally too, so I'm going to sort of cut this out. Now this is out. This is my new this. If you want to learn more about colors and all that, we actually have a tutorial that we do on WhatsApp on colors, you know, that we've done before. We're going to it's going to still be out again. It explains different types of color, how it's done. Okay, see, I've cut out that down one. See, look at the shape that I have here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm shaping this part now like this. Like this. This is I want one part to be like this, the other part to be like complete. Then I'm taking out a little from this way too, because I'll sort of want this to be able to lap on top of this. This is what I want. So I'm cutting out of fabric. Look at what I have now. I've cut out of fabric. This is I have hair stay here. You know, I wouldn't want the look of gum stay. So I have gum stay at the back. I added gums because I want it a bit stiffer. So the next I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to the machine, sew, and then fix it. Okay, this is we've actually fixed the color of our jacket. The next thing to do now is to design it. This is the embellishment that I choose. I've looked through the starch that I have. This works beautifully because of the black in it. So as it is like this now, what I'm doing is to cut it into two, because as I placed it all through, it was not enough to go round. So I sort of broke it into and see the space that I have here now. So I broke it into, since it's streaked with beads, so as I cut, I had some loose ends. What happened is that maybe you cut, you sort of try to stop it from falling, you know. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to sort of play with it. This is how it is now. I've picked this out from my stash. So this I'm going to have to place this way to go this way. I think I like it like this. I'll place it like this. This is going to be here, and then since we have a break here, I'm going to sort of cut some of this and attach it this way. And then the remaining, I'm going to put a little here, put a little here. So how do I cut? This came like this too. I've used it to do other jobs. This is what I have left. See, as I cut, you see how so I've cut and I've placed. I usually would use beading needles to sort of bead this back, you know. Let me get my needle and then gum. I'll use candle gum to sort of do this. Then I'm not going to now use needle to go around it. I actually burnt this, so I'm just going to, this is basically to just help me hold it down. This is not in any way the final one, because it's going to go off when you wash. So I'm just going to use this too. You can see I already applied glue before and gummed before I remembered that I didn't show. So I'm just touching to hold it down. After I'm done doing that, you know, this does not have any hole, so I'm going to just glue it down here. You know, I don't like gluing anything down without tacking it, because if you don't tack, it's going to end up falling off. Then the rest, all these ones, I'm going to go in with my needle. This is a beading needle that has been threaded. Then I'll pick the bit. Let me tighten my stitch first. My stitch is tightened. I'll now pick my bead and sort of, I'm going to sort of just go and tighten as I go. This is the third place. I'm tightening it, and then I'm going to now go again. So I'm going, as I go, you're seeing these places as they are open. I'm going to be picking and tacking, filling it up as I go. You know, by the time I'm through, I'll let you see what it looks like. This is the outcome of the design. I've actually tacked, as you can see. I ended up putting a stone here, you know. I think it actually sort of looks nice, gives it that look. I'm going to sort of, I'm attaching a hook here, a hook and eye, so that it keeps this constantly in place when I wear it. You know, this is it. I just thought I should show. My name is Biakpan.